Greeting friends once more, it is I, Shine. Today we'll be taking an in-depth look at my absolute favorite character in Overwatch, Roadhog. We'll be going through his abilities from basic to ultimate and explore uses, how-tos, advanced tooltips for each ability, and how you can become the best outie belly button having scrap gun wielding maniac you can be. Bear in mind the time and date of this video, as the information may be changed with future patches. But without further preamble, strap yourself in, because the hog cometh. For this section, we will go over each ability one at a time, show you the basic tooltip that Blizzard gives you in the game, and then we'll expand it into an advanced tooltip for specifics. Roadhog is classified as a tank in the Hero Select screen. He has 600 HP, giving him the largest health pool in the game, minus shields and armor. Although the classification is tank, it is better to think of him as a tank/flanker who excels at eliminating high-value targets on the opposing team. To be more specific, Roadhog rewards aggression more so than other tanks, and he has extreme single-target damage potential. Your main task as Roadhog is to eliminate supports, make squishies go splat, and overall protect your healer. The scrap gun is Roadhog's weapon of choice. It functions much like a shotgun, having both low ammunition, only 4 shots per quote-unquote clip, and an extremely short effective range. The scrap gun has 2 firing modes. The first, which is normally your left mouse button, sprays pellets out just in front of Roadhog, just like a shotgun, and the second, right mouse button, launches a ball of scrap forward, and then it explodes into a spray of pellets similar to the primary fire. Let's dig in for some more info on it. The damage from each pellet, regardless of primary or secondary fire, is 2 to 9 damage per pellet, depending on your distance from the target, and that's very far for 2 damage and very close for only 9 damage for the full 9. Both projectiles produce 25 pellets total, leaving you with a total damage potential of 225 damage per shot, which is pretty high. Headshots will count on either firing mode as well, quickly leading to quite a messy death if you know how to actually aim it properly. Your effective range with the primary fire is pretty short. It's about 5 meters for solid potential amounts of damage on an average size target like Soldier 76. And I use the word potential since the pellet spread varies. But at about 5 meters, you can be nearly guaranteed 200 plus damage on an average body size, though against targets such as Widowmaker, since she turns sideways a little bit, you'll need to be within 3 meters to guarantee a kill on her. The secondary fire launches the scrap ball out first, which deals 50 damage total, and headshots still count, but at 9 meters it explodes into the 25 pellets for the full damage amount of 225. At 10 meters with dead center accuracy, you can pretty much one-shot anybody in the Overwatch cast, aside from tanks and people who can see it coming, though landing the shot does take a great deal of practice. Being an amazing alternate fire Roadhog is the difference between being good at Roadhog and being great, so practicing here will increase your team carry potential dramatically. Fiercely debated. The chain hook is obviously the ability Roadhog is most noted for. It's capable of pulling enemies from large distances, puts them right in front of him, and then you can just scrap them to death and send them right to the graveyard. Using this ability, your main purpose is to grab high-value targets, yank them out of their team, eliminate them, and then that'll give your team an immediate advantage. The exact range of the hook is 20 meters, though due to ping and latency, you can assume 21 meters. It has a 6-second cooldown, and it deals 30 damage as soon as it connects, stuns the opponent for 0.5 seconds, then it moves the hooked enemy to a position between where Roadhog was facing when the hook connected and where the enemy was standing when the hook connected, then as close to Roadhog as the enemy character model is coded to be. That was a very ridiculous description, but trust me that sometimes it feels like the hook is working against you rather than for you. The hook can end channeling effects such as Reaper's Ult, and opposing Roadhogs take a breather, and more. Cue the music, let's do a comprehensive list. Now that that's out of the way, let's show some more specific examples of the chain hook in action. That way you guys can see exactly how it functions. This is our friend Soldier76. Go ahead and wave hi. And he's going to demonstrate exact hook maximum range for us. So here we go. Notice how we just barely missed right there. But if we take a very, very tiny step forward, we'll close that gap and we'll connect. Try to memorize this range. For me, it's mostly down to a combination of muscle memory and the enemy character size on the screen. Remember how I said before that each enemy character model is coded to be hooked differently? When we hook Soldier, note the distance between him and Roadhog. Let's try Lucio. As usual, always wave hi, and notice the fear in your friend's eyes before hooking them. And when we throw it here, note the distance is way closer than Soldier. Now, for example, in the other direction. At the end of the hook here, you'll notice that Widowmaker is actually so far that if we want to kill her, we have to actually step forward a little bit to even have a chance. Let's go ahead and go over some combos using the chain hook. The basic combo is chain hook plus primary fire plus melee for a potential total of 285 damage. You can simply hold down your primary fire button as soon as the hook connects to guarantee the shot will occur at the first frame available. The next combo is for close range. Primary fire, hook, as soon as the pellets can be seen. Primary fire again, then melee for potential damage total of 510. The final combo will make you a devastating force. Use secondary fire, then once the scrap ball is out, throw your chain hook, then primary fire and melee again for a total potential of 510 damage. Once perfected, this will be the most devastating combo in your arsenal. Roadhog's second basic ability is called Take a Breather, and it is Roadhog's self-heal, sustain, and life-giving, well, lifeline. It does render him immobile while healing, though. Take a Breather has an initial 0.5 seconds of immobilization, followed by 300 health healed over the next 1.5 seconds, giving Take a Breather a total animation time of 2 seconds and a cooldown of 8 seconds. Take a Breather should be used to either heal up after a cool, calm brush with danger, but it also has other uses. You can use it to stall against 1 or even 2 low damage heroes, such as Winston, Lucio, or a Symmetra, without her full charged beam, obviously. You can also use it to stall while your chain hook comes off cooldown to be used again. And one of my favorite things to do, actually, is to use Take a Breather while an ulting Genji is just trying to slash the crap out of me. It gives you a second chance to hook him if you time it properly. Never forget that Take a Breather is a channeled ability, meaning it can be interrupted by any stun effects such as other chain hooks, McCree flashbangs, and the obvious Reinhardt charge. Whole Hog is Roadhog's ultimate ability. Slamming a large feeder into the top of his scrap gun, Roadhog fires in a wide, flat horizontal arc, dealing damage and knocking away anyone struck. The initial blast from the Whole Hog has 3 times more knockback than the projectiles afterwards, and has the potential to literally punt larger targets across the map, not to mention instantly burst down certain lesser health targets. The ult is channeled, it deals 5,000 damage over its duration of 6 seconds, and has a 0.5 second cast time. Whole Hog requires 2,000 total charge to use, but it is easier to get as Roadhog's Take a Breather does give you charge when it heals. The best aspect of Whole Hog is that it can frame cancel from any other ability. Frame canceling, for those who don't know, means that during the animation for any of your other abilities, you can activate Whole Hog and it will cancel the current animation and go right into the Whole Hog animation. This has several applications. If you're low on health and in the fire of combat, you could pop Take a Breather, heal just enough to live, maybe half or 3/4 of it, and then literally interrupt it midway with a Whole Hog activation. You can also hook someone, then as the game is processing the programming to move them towards you and in front of you, you can ult to deal massive damage and, like I said before, punt them really far away from their team. As I stated before, Roadhog is best used as a tank/flanker with the ability to kill off high-profile targets with ease. So let's go ahead and go through his matchups. Just to let you know, this red area up here will represent an unfavorable or negative matchup, meaning Roadhog will probably lose. The uncolored middle will be the neutral area, which means that the better player will typically win the fight, or the fight will become a complete stalemate. And the green area at the bottom represents favorable matchups for Roadhog. These are the players you should be winning against more often than not. Let's start with the offensive heroes. So, when you fight Genji, it pretty much becomes a skill match, as both heroes, him and Roadhog, have issues with killing each other. Watch out for Genji's deflect, and that'll actually give you the edge that you need. Even if you do manage to land a hook, sometimes the physics in the game will pull Genji's entire character model through you. This matchup can either end in a stalemate or in Roadhog's favor, but it's really going to get down to your alt fire aim and your chain hook skills. Against McCree, it's in favor of McCree. McCree's most damaging range is just outside of your hook range, and if you do manage to actually close the gap, McCree can fan the hammer, then combat roll, fan the hammer again, stun you out of your heal. He just has too many options to counter you. If you do engage McCree and manage to hook him, make sure you take a small step forward to guarantee the kill before he has a chance to react with a flashbang post-hook stun. This matchup is very much like walking on pins and needles and requires perfect timing on your part to win. And next, as long as she keeps her distance, Roadhog can't actually touch Pharah. If she comes within range of your hook, you'll have a difficult time snagging her out of the air, especially due to our recent mobility update last patch. You're pretty much better off leaving Pharah to the hit scan shooters of the world, like Soldiers, McCrees, and Widowmakers. Reaper represents another pin needles type of fight. If you whiff on your chain hook, you can rest assured you're going to be sucking the floor after 2 or 3 shots from his shotguns. If you do manage to land a hook, be sure to hold down your primary fire button to ensure that you shoot Reaper before he can Wraith form and get an advantage on you, especially now that your hook is on cooldown. Next up, we have Soldier 76, and Soldier's a pretty big annoyance thanks to his newly acquired ludicrous amounts of damage. However, the best he can really do to you is soften you up for the rest of his team to finish you off. If he happens to be range of your hook, Soldier is pretty easy pickings, actually. Just be careful of the Helix rocket, as the sudden 120 damage can actually take you by surprise. If Sombra actually manages to hack you, it's going to be incredibly difficult for you to win this fight. However, if you aren't hacked, this is a very easy pickup, as you have Take a Breather to negate a large chunk of her damage, as well as a gigantic health pool to back it up. Land a hook, and she's pretty much free ult charge for you. Last but not least, we have Tracer. This fight is completely dependent on you landing your chain hook again. If you cannot, Roadhog's large size is going to make him a very easy target for her pulse pistols and her ult pulse bomb. As an aside, I just want to let you guys know, pulse bomb does 400 damage, meaning even if it's stuck to you, it cannot one-shot you. But it is something to be aware of, as a lot of Tracers like to soften you up before actually throwing the pulse bomb onto you. So just be aware that, if you're below 400, you are in that pulse bomb death territory, and you want to be able to respond accordingly with Take a Breather. On to the defenders. So Bastion's first up. Bastion can pretty much shred you before you're even able to approach. Either you need to approach from a blind or a guarded angle, ready to chain hook and pull him out of his sentry configuration, or just simply let someone else deal with him. As a side note, do not attempt to take a breather in front of Bastion, as he can deal damage faster than your ability can heal you. Next up is Hanzo. As long as Hanzo keeps his distance, and yes, a smart Hanzo will, you're free ult charge for him, not you. Some Hanzo players get ballsy and think that they can rain down arrows on you because you can't see them, and just make sure that you show them just how awkward chain hook's hitbox is and send them packing. Otherwise, avoid being in Hanzo's zone completely. So next up is Junkrat. Your large character model does you absolutely no favors here against his grenades, not to mention that the slight bump that the grenades give you does you absolutely no help with landing hooks. While Junkrat does die easily if you actually manage to hook him, good players are simply never going to give you that opportunity. And even if they do, The concussion mine actually can respond fast enough. You'll still get the damage off, but it will knock you both away from each other. Most Junkrats are going to utilize winding corridors and cover to make sure their bombs always have the superior angle of attack. It's better just to avoid this one. Mei, aka as she's more well known as, is Satan. Typically, your fights against Mei are going to end in a stalemate. Mei has enough health to negate a chain hook, then ice block, and then pop out and then wall. And if Mei actually manages to freeze you, she will not be able to kill you with the initial icicle into the skull maneuver. You're better off interrupting Mei from killing a teammate, basically catching her by surprise before she icicles them in the face, than attempting to duel her, as it is a waste of your potential and time. Oh my god, Torbjorn. So, you can't hook Torbjorn's turret, and you can't really easily damage it unless you're already in front of it, which by the time you even get there, you've already lost a whole chunk to it. Not to mention that Torbjorn also has a shotgun type attack himself, which can just literally cut you off at the knees in 2 to 3 shots. While Torbjorn does follow the chain hook combo easily, if his turret is nearby, he will either severely injure you or even trade with you, even after he's dead and gone. Finally, we can have Widowmaker here. You're kind of seeing a little trend, but Widowmaker can keep her distance from the Hog pretty easily. Even if you land a chain hook, her slender character model, because she turns to the side, like I said before, it'll ensure she survives 90% of the time. And even if you manage to sneak up on her, her grappling hook will make sure that you're no longer the predator, but the prey. Just don't bother going after her unless she's already weakened, or she's pretty much the last person that needs to die. On to the tanks. D.va in her mech is pretty much prime candy for Roadhog. She's got a huge hitbox, there's no way of easily negating a chain hook on her end, but consider it a benefit also that her critical spot is right in the middle of her character model. If D.va responds with a defense matrix, Roadhog's hook can stun her out of it, giving your team enough time to shred down D.va's mech before she's able to respond. Once she's out of her mech, D.va can prove to be a pain as long as she keeps her distance, but she shouldn't be too difficult to scare off or even kill with or without your chain hook. Now, Reinhardt, you're pretty in favor here. You could shred his barrier pretty fast, and if you are fast enough, you can actually hook the Reinhardt when he goes for a fire strike. If Reinhardt manages to charge you at full health, you can respond with the primary fire plus hook plus primary plus melee combo to pretty much almost kill him out, flat out. Or you can instantly take a breather while getting smacked by a hammer with your teammates laying pressure on the Reinhardt at the same time. Next up is the good old mirror match. This obviously comes down to how good your accuracy is with your, mostly with your secondary fire, as well as how you use your chain hook. Do not try to hook the opposing Roadhog unless you are certain a single scrap gun blast will finish him off. If the opposing Roadhog does hook you, immediately respond with your own primary fire, plus hook, plus primary fire, plus melee combo, which will typically be enough to finish him off. The fight with Winston, it's not even fair. The fight will inevitably tip in your favor simply due to Winston's extremely low amounts of damage, though he can jump pack to get away from you before you do kill him. Beware if you're discorded by an enemy Zenyatta while fighting Winston, as that will put you both on equal terms. On the flip side of the coin, it actually seems like Zarya is custom built to make Roadhog's life a living hell. If you manage to hook a different enemy, Zarya can shield them and absorb your entire scrap gun shot, giving her a 40% boost to damage. Although Zarya can shield herself when hooked, sometimes she can get it off and sometimes she cannot, depending on latency. It's advised that you think about every hook and shot you take while facing Zarya on the opposing team, as the consequences are much more drastic and worse than normal. Finally, on to the supports. Ana is one of the only supports that can actually handle Roadhog properly. Her sleep dart can outright remove you from combat, and her biotic grenade can remove the sustainability Roadhog is famed for. Ana also has range on you as well, giving her an entire kit's worth of content to smash you. On the other end, Lucio and his pea shooter literally mean nothing to you. A skillful Lucio is very difficult for you to hit, but taking your time and landing a very quick and clean chain hook will clean him up very quickly. For Mercy, it's easy pickings once again. Once you do hook her, again, make sure to step forward slightly to ensure maximum damage and that your melee follow-up finishes her off. If she does manage to fly away with Guardian Angel, be prepared to change up your strategy to suit whomever she fled towards. And for Symmetra, you shouldn't have much issue landing the killing blow against Symmetra, provided that you stay focused on the task and aren't distracted by her turrets. She can send out her photon barrier to block hooks and scrap shots made against her team. But the big edge for Symmetra is her new shield generator ult, which actually screws up all your math and puts most characters you could originally chain hook combo far away from the one-shot kill range, creating a losing battle everywhere for you. And finally, we have the floating monk Zenyatta. Even though Zenyatta has no mobility besides floating, his Discord Orb plus basic attack deals a whopping 60 damage a hit, and landing a headshot here and there is easily done for your low mobility as well. Do not get into an extended engagement with Zenyatta unless you feel you can land your chain hook and win before he takes you down with his boosted damage. As you can see and as you can hear, knowing how to land the chain hook is the best indicator of a skilled Roadhog, with your secondary fire accuracy being a very close second. Be sure to get the proper mouse sensitivity to give yourself the best chance of landing the hooks, and practice, practice, practice. Your survivability depends on it. Overall, after having about 76 hours in Roadhog across both betas and release, I can safely say he's one of my better heroes. Though I pride myself on being a flex player, I tend to force Roadhog more and more lately, even against bad matchups. Just crank up the Mad Max theme, the Junkie XL one, and just go to town, just completely ham. What do you guys think about the one-man apocalypse? I am kind of curious. Let me know in the comments below, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe if you enjoyed this in-depth look at Roadhog. I do plan on creating a video for each hero and level, all in due time, but if there's anyone or anything you want to see next in particular, let me know. Until next time, may your chain hooks be homing and your hogs be whole. See you guys on the battlefield. Later.